inmates called it one of the most controversial issues in the history of our city when the Berkeley City Council wrote a letter calling the local Marine recruiters uninvited and unwelcome guests. Although it was soon followed by a vote to rescind the original decision, the event caused a national uproar, with people flying in from all over the country to take sides. During the first week of February, the Berkeley City Council passed a resolution that ignited a national controversy. In addition to calling the Marine recruiters intruders, the City Council supported the anti-war group Code Pink by issuing them parking permits for 4 hours each week. Meanwhile, World Can't Wait, an anti-Marine protesting group, set up across the street from the recruiting station. On February 12th, more than 40 House Republicans introduced the Semper Fi Act of 2008, which would reassign over $2 million in earmarks awarded to both the city and UC Berkeley. Instead, the funds would go to the Marine Corps. The same day, the City Council decided not to send the letter.
It's the city's place to say whether or not they approve of it. They don't get to say whether or not they get to stay, but it's a free speech issue, and the City Council gets to have their free speech too.
They shouldn't tell the people that are putting their lives on the line to protect us that they're not welcome here. They can just disagree with what they're doing, but not to like you're not welcome.
The recent feud between the Marines and Berkeley City Council suggests that the free speech and peace movement of the decades past lives on. But who gets to define free speech, and who has the right to ban it?
I think this is such a big problem because we see the Berkeley City continuously treating the Marines and the military as a whole as maybe an evil force and trying to help the side that says that about them. I mean, Code Pink has said some really bad things about the military. Forget about the war in Afghanistan or Iraq or whatever. They've said some things that I think are just really not appropriate for the people who are protecting us. And the fact that a city is now siding with them and then trying to trump federal law, I think, is pretty disgraceful.
The city's going to have a stance, but if they're going to make inflammatory comments that's going to take money away from the city, then I'd say that's a negative. You know, it's fine to have an opinion. It's another thing if you're going to vocalize it and have detrimental effects like it has.
It's kind of interesting that we have this vote and then because of the money situation, we're apologizing. I definitely don't like this idea of them taking money away, especially if we go from the university. Because as we know, we don't have enough money to begin with. Our funding is low and our tuition's rising.
How do you feel about the city spending nearly $93,000 to control the protests?
Well, once the city had gone down this path of proposing to write this letter and expressing their support for Code Pink, it was predictable, I think. And I don't think in the end that the protests on either side served any real purpose because even if the city had written that letter, it wouldn't have had any practical impact. It would have just been another kind of symbolic gesture, a statement.
Recruiting for murder, rape, torture, war. What are they recruiting for? Murder, rape, torture, war.
We're here today basically to make a stand, take a stand against the war, take a stand against the recruiters. We actually want to shut this recruiting station down because we feel that they are recruiting young people into lying to young people and recruiting them into an unjust, illegal, and immoral war. And we have to actually put our bodies, like Mario Savio, a UC Berkeley student, said, back in the 60s, we need to put our bodies on the gears of this injustice, on the gears of this war machine and actually bring it to a stop. It's completely ridiculous and a sign of how right-wing this country has become that there could be senators like Senator DeMint that are trying to push the Semper Fi bill to take money away from schools in Berkeley and put it into the military. I mean, I think what we need is more young people taking a stand, more people, more city councils across the country taking a stand, like the city of Berkeley, and we hope to spread this throughout the country.
So you're from Orange County. Why did you decide to come up here?
If someone joins the Marine Corps and decides to serve their country, we shouldn't be calling them baby murderers and rapists like they are at this very moment right now. Most of the people in the Marine Corps or the services are the best of the best. It bothers me that no one else is here. They have the entire demonstration, and I guess it's like an old angry white man thing that happens to you once in a while. I was watching the news and I got up, got in my car and drove up here.
Berkeley does have this liberal stigma. I think it's only going to exacerbate that. The West Coast is the left coast, and on the East Side, especially in the South, they view the military in a different way.
What it's been for many years now is the most liberal city in the country, the most leftist, anti-war, crazy, communist, whatever, however you want to classify it.
The reputation that we acquired during the free speech movement has never left, even though, in fact, the city and the campus look remarkably different from how they were 40 years ago.
Council members have decided that they will instead take the position of just opposing the war and the billions of dollars spent on it. They recognize, however, the recruiters' right to locate in the city and can only justify protesting their presence. The Berkeley City Council wants to make it clear that it both supports and respects the men and women of the armed forces. Reporting for CalTV, I'm Amanda Lowe.